What is good, YouTube? Welcome back to another CZN Chaos Zero Nightmare video, and today we have some big news, and it's not good news. In fact, it's pretty bad news for a lot of people that might have wasted some time farming for a specific type of deck for some characters. And you're going to see that this is the first of two things I'll be showing you. First, we have Contaminated Spore being nerfed, that neutral card that people were abusing on stuff like Orlea and Barrel. I say abuse, but if it's in the game, is it really abuse? Because these should be tested. So this card is going to get nerfed. We'll look at the numbers a little bit later. And you'll also see that the new 5-star partner instantly gets nerfed. So you're going to see that the effect of the new partner, 9's partner, got nerfed. And it's going to cause a lot of issues for people that might have spent money for it. Support my channel by clicking my link in the description and joining me in Raid Shadow Legends. You'll get $200 worth of free rewards, including the legendary champion Narma right off the bat. Again, this supports me and the channel tons, so don't forget to click on that link and set up your new account. Now, back to the video. So let's actually talk about the Alcea nerfs first, because most of you guys probably know of the Spore nerfs by now. But this came out a little bit more recently, about like 12 hours after me recording this, 12 hours before. So basically what's being changed, it looks like a very small change, right? Because it's only one effect. However, you have to realize the partners, the reason why you pull for these partners is for the effects, right? So right now what it is the damage increased effect is amplified for each caustic remark stack. And what's going to be fixed is now that the targets affected by caustic remark will just take 20% increased damage, and the effect will be modified to increase by up to 30%. And the reason why this is a huge nerf is because it's essentially halving the value of the partner here. So if we actually look back at CZN, so if I go to what the partner does, so what caustic remarks does, this ego skill, is it applies 5 stacks, right? And this was really strong because you would basically get increased damage and it will go up to basically like 300% damage. If you're not understanding, basically it would do like 100, it was a 5-stack application, so it was 100%, and each hit would decrease it by 20%. Now it's just 30% 5 times. So the end damage is going from 300% from this to actually 150. So the ego skill is getting nerfed literally by like half. And I say like ego skill, it's obviously not the ego skill damage, but it's the caustic remarks. So for one-shotting, it's going to be literally half the power. It's going to be a huge nerf, right? So of course people are mad, especially if you pulled for the partner, because, you know, when it comes to summons and when people spend on summons, people are not going to be happy, right? Especially if you nerf stuff right after. Not even like between seasons and provide compensation then, but literally just like a couple days after, like 10 days after the banner, I guess like 9 days, it just gets nerfed by a large margin. And this brings the question, you know, are they really playtesting these partners, these characters? People are also referencing the live streams where it looks like we don't really know what we're doing with the characters. So I think there's a big issue because, yeah, like I said, people are usually sending all their summons on the banners, right? Especially because the dupes in this game can be really OP. And they usually just get one copy of the partner with their, you know, currency that they spend for, you know, this type of stuff. So I think definitely a huge issue. I've heard that people in Japan are like suing, which is insane, which sounds insane, I should say. But if people were actually, you know, spending a ton of money on this, I think people even pulled 3 copies for 3 characters to do like insane one-shot shenanigans. Well, it's going to be very obvious that people get mad. So I think it's a pretty bad sign. They do nerf in other games as well like this. I think when Epic 7 first released, there were like problems with the balancing as well. They did some like random nerfs to like obviously broken stuff. But this type of issue, it's just really weird to me because it feels like they're trying to push for 5-star partners to be really good. And then the one time we have like a really good 5-star partner on the banner, which, you know, usually the 5-star partners get out like classed by the 4 stars very easily. Well, it's just instantly nerfed. So I think this is gonna really stop people from not only just pulling for partners, but potentially just spending on the game altogether. Especially with a nerf this drastic, right? Because they're nerfing it by 50%, which is insane. Didn't need a 50% nerf? I don't think so. And like if they're gonna nerf stuff like this drastically, I'm really, you know, interested to see you know, what other nerfs they'll do in the future. But they do say that they will compensate for this. I don't know how you'll compensate for this via in-game mail, right? Because like like even a selector for Alcea, like if they give you an option to refund Alcea to get a different limited partner, is it even worth it? Because are there even limited partners as good as Alcea, right? So you're still losing value, right? So I don't really know if like the in-game mail reward would be even enough, right? Most people would just want a refund, or they'll just refund it themselves by, you know, charging back and stuff like that. So just curious what you guys think about this. Let me know down below. But now let's talk about the Spore nerf. Most people know about this already. This is a pretty big nerf. I honestly knew this was coming, so I didn't even bother farming a deck because this was pretty OP. So essentially the damage was like uncapped and you're just getting so much damage, right? This made Barrel and Orlea like super powerful. But now what they're doing is they're having the damage again, so like another 50% nerf, and the max stack count is adjusted to 20. So this is going to cap at 100%. Now for Orlea, it's a pretty big nerf, right, with the play loop that she has. But for Barrel, it's not as big of a nerf because you mostly just wanted that retain card in your hand. So they're also going to give compensation. I assume you guys already got it if you logged into game. It is that flash of potential to, you know, change your, what's it called, your epiphany in your save data already. So if you guys don't know what Spore Epiphany is, or like, not Spore Epiphany, Spore Propagation, Contaminated Spore is, it was like this one on the left here. No class restrictions, made it super OP, and you have this retain exhaust, and when retaining, you create Contaminated Spore, and it was super strong. So, you know, I don't know why these nerfs are here. I guess it's right before Great Rift. People are saying that they nerfed this to sell more on the 9 banner because people weren't pulling, because, you know, you didn't really need to pull for 9 because you could just Spore abuse. But I don't really know if that's the case. I think, you know, they just probably thought it was super broken. But I'm just curious what you guys think about everything all together. I'm pretty sure that a lot of people are going to be very mad about these changes, especially to the partner if you pulled for it. I actually pulled for the partner as well. I think, let's see, my 9 I think has, I don't even know if it's one dupe or if it's just one copy. Okay, so I have 2 copies of 9 obviously when you look at that, but I have 1 copy of Alcea. So we'll see what the compensation is. Maybe I get something insane. Maybe I can trade it in for another partner. But for me personally, obviously I'm not happy about it because this partner was super fun to use to set up those one-shots. But, you know, in terms of if this partner is going to be the best for her or if there's going to be other partners that you'll want to use, we're going to have to see, you know, once the nerfs actually happen. I do believe the nerfs are actually happening not instantly, but it's happening on the 25th of February when the Great Rift comes out. Probably because 9's going to be, or whatever characters that can use Alcea will be very strong for Great Rift, and they don't want another meta where it's going to be one character only. But I think more testing needs to be done before we release these types of partners and even cards into the new season, because we're not even into like the first 2 weeks of the season and we already have 2 huge nerfs. So let me know down below what you guys think about this. Once again, thank you for watching, and make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe, and also check out my link down below to get started in raid and support the channel, and I'll see you guys next video.